I'm recording, so everybody be good like always. Yeah, okay. We're doing baleen wells today. It is it's a continuation. You'll find your questions. I think there's like 15 questions or something like that. Pretty easy. You'll find the reading and everything, of course, under your classroom or class work page. I think that's what it's called. You would think I would remember that, considering I've been, doing that all year, but no. All right, here we go. We're talking about the blue whale today. Blue whale is the largest animal that has ever lived on Earth, and he is still alive today. Okay? Roaming the vast oceans on routes largely unknown by man. He can actually reach lengths of more than 100 feet. His head alone can be 25 feet long. Just to give you an idea, from this wall to that wall is roughly 25 feet. Okay, so that's his head. So he would actually be, if we put his head right here, the tip of his head, and laid him out, he would actually go through all three classrooms and out the swinging doors into the hallway.
Seriously?
Okay, that's how big he would be. So he's pretty good size. He's
Nobody
pretty good
believes how
size
big
fella.
he is. You're always
Okay.
and then you go scuba diving.
Don't you love it? I mean, I don't know why I teach, because they already know everything there is to know about everything. I mean, that's why I'm retiring. I have done my job. I have educated people so well, they can now just sit in my classroom and give me all kinds of stuff that they saw in a movie. I mean, when you watch Finding Nemo, I think you I don't know why you don't just get a certificate that says you are a marine biologist. I mean, you've watched the movie twice, right? Yes.
So, have people put trackers on?
Can they put tractors on them?
Yeah.
Trackers.
Yeah, trackers.
I heard tractors. I'm like, why would you want to put a tractor on a well?
You could help it's easy moving around.
Okay, we're going to get there. Actually, this is why I teach, because it is fun. All right, here we go. Even though we know some things about the blue whale, there is still a lot that we do not know. Okay? We don't know the path that it takes when it migrates. Okay? So it talks about, isn't it amazing? The largest creature in the world, and they're hard to find. But that kind of shows you how big the ocean is. Okay, it shows you how big the ocean is. I got screwed.
So it's not like
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they actually do.
Wait 1 second. How do you spell migrate? M-I-G-R-A-T-E-S.
All right. Anyway, so that goes to show you how enormous the ocean really is. Okay. Interestingly enough, when we find a blue whale, it's either alone or it's a mother with a calf. Okay. But for whatever reason, they do not travel in large pods the way a lot of whales do. So they stay pretty much to themselves. So scientists kind of think that the blue whales, instead of forming pods, they seem to prefer to be alone. This wonderful mysterious whale can dive deep into the ocean. When it surfaces, its spout, when it comes up to clear his blowhole, he can blow water up to 30 feet up into the air. Okay, again, his room is 25 feet. Okay, yes, Savannah.
How do they get to do so they can prefer to be alone? How do they meet?
Well, they will mate, but then they kind of split. They don't mate for life. In other words, they kind of once the mating is complete, the male goes off, the mom goes off with and has her calf. Yes.
Like, you see things about how, like, things are launched by water power. Is it possible to, like, if you had the right conditions, could you get on top of a whale and, like, get shot up by it?
Oh, I feel confident. Yeah, I feel confident. If you were standing over that blowhole when he started to spout up, he could probably balance you up there for a little while. I would imagine that force coming out. If he can shoot water 30 feet up, that's quite a
Then
bit
you
of
would
force.
at least be like 10 feet above
Yeah,
with it. Like,
Yeah, I would imagine he couldn't sustain you, but he could shoot you up there for a while probably.
yeah.
Anyhow, they are slate blue in color. He has striped grooves up under his chin, and you'll see that on some of the pictures that we'll look at. And these grooves stretch out when the whale sucks in an enormous amount of plankton-filled water. Think about the pelican. Remember that sac underneath his bottom bill, how it bulges out when he takes in the fish and the water and all that stuff? This guy does the same thing. As he swims and takes all that in, his bottom jaw kind of expands downward, and then he filters the water out through his baleen, and all the krill, shrimp, little fishes, plankton, whatever is caught, and then he takes that tongue and wipes it all out and eats. Okay? All right, got to stroll again. Here we go. All right. It tells us about how it's quite astonishing that the largest animal in the world feeds mostly on very tiny creatures. Okay? His favorite food is called krill. And these are like inch long, okay? Remember, this guy's 100 feet long. These things are inch long, shrimp-like zooplankton. They swim in swarms, which means there is a mess of them. Okay, they are a mess of them.
They're very tiny, but he gets a ton of them.
Okay? So they swim in swarms, and the blue whales feeds really heavily on them. In the Arctic summers, these krill are so plentiful that they actually turn the water orange in color. It gives it an orange tint because that is their color. Okay? And a blue whale will eat 4 tons of these creatures every single day.
And you wonder how the krill hasn't gone extinct.
You do. Okay, so 4
They
tons.
must,
That's 8,000 pounds of krill.
They must
Okay.
mate like almost immediately after being born.
Yes.
I watched like a Dear Rabbit thing like a month or so ago, and it was talking about how whales used to be hunted and they were
Yep.
killed, and then that stopped. But they're so focused on trying to find their migrating path, is because right now the number one kill of blue whales is the front of the ship going to like Japan or something from
Yep.
China. It's hitting the whale.
Hitting
and
the
then
whales as they're
they're
coming
gonna
up.
die.
Yep. It's talking about how we don't hunt them. It's illegal to hunt them anymore. But there's ships, big ships will hit them because we don't know their migration paths.
Do we have to say this on CTINs? Like the
On what?
CTINs? I think that's how you say it.
Cetaceans.
Cetaceans.
We already did that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the overall
I know it was
scope of it.
I did that.
Yes.
So do we have to take notes on that, or do we? I
Yes,
just have to
yes, you take 5 on that, 5 on.
Thank you.
All right, now let's talk about humpback. Now you see this guy. The humpback whale is easy to identify. He's one of the most often seen and actively studied whales out there. He's easy to identify. He has these wart-looking bumps all up on top of his head, all around his head. And he has these 12-foot-long flippers. Okay, yeah, some serious flippers. And they have like a scallop look to them. They have that wavy look to them on one side. Kind of like a scallop pattern along the edge. It's usually dark on top with a little dorsal fin near the rear of his back. It's underneath is white. They like to go under the water, and they will put their tail up through the water and then flap down on it, kind of like they're spanking the water to make big splashes for onlookers. And the humpback whale is best known for the song that the male sings probably to help attract females. Okay? He is the guy on the Prudential Insurance where he comes up out of the water and does the backflip thing, you know? That's him. Okay? That's him. That's a humpback whale. That's who that is. Okay?
It's so cool. So do you think that one of these is about as long as that part of the Smith building? One of these blue wells?
A blue whale,
Full grown.
he's not as big as the Smith building from end to end. That's more than 100 feet.
I was about to say, and he's like a.
Yeah, no, but
And
yeah.
Megalodon's really.
But if you can think about from this wall, I mean, each of these classrooms are like 25 feet. So that would be, all three classrooms put together would cover 3/4 of him. So he'd have another 25 feet. So he's pretty big.
Wait, can you hold it there for just a second?
Really?
Just very quick.
You're not? Are they not gonna put the wall back up?
No, they just haven't yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they would never roll back.
No, they won't put it like that. I'm going to talk about the gray well. Okay. Gray whales love to swim in groups and play in the crashing waves near the shoreline. They are a very, very social whale towards each other. Okay, they're very intelligent. Okay, I'll do it again. All right, I'll leave it right there for a minute. We let y'all, they don't have the pleasure of having a reading, so they have to try to answer the questions off of this as they're taking notes, so it takes them a little bit longer in class. So that's what we're doing. So how was your weekend? Was it wonderful? I hope so. We're closing in. Think about that. When we walked in this morning, we had 15 days of class left. Actually 14 and a half. And we all know that last week, you know, they think there is going to be a week off. Little do they realize we got tests and stuff planned all week.
Not in Latin. We had to take a
Don't care about Latin.
Wait, seriously?
I don't teach Latin.
Oh, I'm gonna. I don't care. I'm gonna.
This is where you'll see grades just like fall off the table.
What?
All right.
I mean, I'll just fail. So that
Now then, as baleen whales go, gray whales are actually rather small. Okay? They grow to only be about 45 feet. Okay? That's small for a whale, I guess. Still pretty big in my opinion. They're easy to spot. They have this gray molting going on, which is actually more of a charcoal black than a gray. You see their baleen right there in the picture. It's not that long. It's you know, it can be just from probably 8 inches up to 18 inches or so, depending on how, you know, the size of him. It talks about right here, and I don't know, some of y'all might have thought about this, some of you probably haven't. Did you know that whales prefers one fin to the other, just like you prefer one hand to the other? You're either right-handed or left-handed, and these guys are the same way. If you think about it, a lot of animals are like that. If you pay attention, if your dog shakes hands, he will use his dominant paw to shake hands. I got one that does a left hand, I got one that does right hand.
Seriously?
mine does both. She's
Okay.
trying to do both.
That makes sense. I tried to do my dog's left and wasn't the
So, just like you, they prefer one hand to the other. And you can actually tell if the gray whale you are seeing is right-finned or left-finned. Okay? You only need to notice which side has fewer barnacles on it. because what he does is he likes to dive down to the bottom of the ocean floor, and he scoops up these huge amounts of sand from the bottom, and what he's doing is he's filtering out small creatures that live in it, and that way he can eat them. And when the whale does this, many of the barnacles on that side is rubbed along the bottom or scraped off. Okay? So as he scrapes that big old flipper of his across there, it tears off some of the barnacles. So you can tell every which fin has the least amount of barnacles is the one that he favors when he is scraping along the bottom.
Do you hold back to that, or is it
Okay.
just the,
No, that's just him. That's just this guy. Okay? So whichever side has the least barnacles, then that's the side of the whale prefers to use when it digs in the sand. So now, unfortunately, Atlantic gray whales were hunted to extinction. So the Pacific gray whale is the only type of gray whale that is alive today. So the chances of seeing a gray whale off the coast of the Carolinas is
Very slim.
very, very slim. If you've got a gray whale that is lost if you see one, because most of them are in the Pacific. Off the coast of California is a pretty common sighting. They see them there a lot. Yes.
is it possible to find a whale in like those, blocks, like the, man, I forgot what they call it, like, Atlantic,
If it's seawater and they can get in there, yeah, there's possible that you can find some of the smaller ones. You're not going to find like a blue whale in there. Yeah. But yeah, you could. Okay. The right whale.
well, it would mostly be like a tooth whale.
Yeah, that would be your best bet, because the baleen whales are the bigger of the whales, obviously. Okay.
But they
Now,
have krill.
this is the right whale. You see, you can identify him by that beautiful smile. He looks like he's frowning all the
Yeah,
time. He
seriously,
looks like
he
an
does.
upside down U. He looks like he's frowning all the time.
Yeah, if you look over,
Okay.
it looks like he looks like a bad guy.
Oh, no, no, just can
And
see the
then,
picture.
and then when you turn it upside down, his head, face looks like he's spinning. It looks like a side now, cause the.
All right. Whalers love this whale because for a number of reasons. First of all, he has a rich storage of blubber, and he has really long baleen. The baleen on this guy can run anywhere from 9 to 12 feet long.
Wait, but
Okay.
what do they want with the baleen?
They make hair out of it. I don't know. I don't know what they do with it. But they use it for various things.
Well,
Okay. I really don't. I don't know what they break it down for. I don't know.
I want to catch a humpback
Okay.
whale one day.
In addition, right whales were easy to catch. Okay? These 100,000-pound whales were so docile that when you harpooned them, they did not fuss or fight. They just kind of like, you got me, and gave up. Okay?
would they swim away?
Well, I'm sure they would probably try to swim away, but they didn't attack the boat and jump up out of the water and all that. So it made them an easy catch for whalers. Okay? And the whale can be distinguished from the others by his mouth, which looks again like an upside down U. And he just looks like he's frowning all the time. So maybe, I don't know, maybe his life is so bad that he just frowns
Like
all the
over
time.
time, their mouth gets turned into a permanent
No,
frown.
when
I
God,
don't know.
when before Adam and Eve sinned, they were always the other way around. But then when they sinned, God got to stay.
All right. There will be a few videos for you to watch today. They're not going to have time to watch all of them on all the whales, so you'll have a few today. We're going to do dolphins and porpoises tomorrow, and there will be a few more videos to watch then also. Okay? Hope you enjoyed it a little bit, and we will see you soon.